Soundarya. So lovely to have you.
Hi, Vidya. Gauri,
Have you been?
Nair. Got your name correct.
Thank you. You're looking very regal and very charming, Soundarya.
Oh, thank you so much.
First
Okay,
and uh, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for making time to speak with us about your interests and your passion.
thank you for having me on your show.
And then I thought we should know a little bit about yourself. I thought that's important when we actually speak from person to person, of course. So please, let me just give you a little bit, give whoever's present a little bit about yourself, which we already know though, that you are a passionate art collector and you have significant experience in the media industry here. And also you are a very committed, active committee member in the Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society here.
Yes.
So could you please let us know, share with us a bit about yourself, what brought you towards the line of media and the arts here? Please let us know.
Okay. What brought me into the line of media was, of course, this happened when I was in my undergraduate years. I took up, after doing my first graduate program, BA in English literature, I took to media. I went into Bharati Vidya Bhavan School of Journalism. I was a journalist. I've been all along a broadcast journalist. I came to Singapore after my marriage, so I started working with the Singapore Broadcasting Corporation. There is only one radio and TV station in Singapore. I was associated with that for a very long time. Then I moved more into the administrative side, into the STAT board, and then I finally retired from the Ministry of Communication and Information.
So you retired from that?
I retired.
Retired, okay.
Yes,
all right.
yes. So now after retirement, I'm more busy.
Naturally, you tend to do all the things that you could not manage at the time.
So
yes.
a little bit of everything keeps me quite busy, yes.
Wonderful.
So, my life is not as colorful as these paintings. So I will, nothing much that I can boast about, but I have a fulfilling life, yes.
No, but it's all right. It's not about quantity; it's about quality. Soundarya, at the end of the day, and I think quality-wise, you're doing superb.
Thank you.
Yeah. So please tell us a bit about your involvement in CIFAS.
Oh, in CIFAS, I've been there for many years. I was there since 1982 when I just came into Singapore. Then I left for a while because I had a lot of family commitments to take care of. Then now I have gone back to being on this thing, and I'm doing a lot of work right now with, I'm trying to digitize their resources, which they have, because now this is the way to go, is the digital technology is very important. So trying to help with that. That's on my plate now. And I've been also supportive of arts in many ways. I've done programs, done fundraisers, done a lot of concerts, dance programs, shows. I curated brought in folk artists from India and showcased them here some years back. So I have done a lot of them in my own freelancing way, I should say. Yeah.
Soundarya, I'm sorry to interrupt because I might forget this point, but you were telling us about folk artists. Could you just tell us, give us a bit more details about what kind of an aspect that was? What kind of a support
was actually, I brought in the artists from, there's an institute in Hyderabad dealing with folk music and folk artists. They have resident program, they have the regular folk artists coming from different parts of India. They're in touch with those artists, and what they do is they have so they coordinated. They brought in quite a lot of about 22, 25 artists came, and they played various kinds of music. And then our children in fine arts took part. Almost 96 students took part in that program.
Awesome. It's a commendable effort. I hope you will continue to do such initiatives. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us, Soundarya, about your journey as in the arts, in this creative field?
Well, I used to paint myself when I was young. I mean, in my college days and high school days and college days, I had the time and I had a lot of interest. I painted, and I have a few of them. My parents have been my proud gallery, as I said, have hung my paintings in every room. And I now feel very shy when I look at those amateurish, simple work. But those days, my parents used to go gaga, telling people, "Oh, this was done by Soundarya when she was this, and she was done." So anyway, I went through that journey of painting, and yes, I have a few things in back home in India. But my interest in art, in collecting, rather being a thing, it came about not very far long ago, and it was. I have a friend who used to run a gallery in India, and then I went to visit her and I looked at this gallery and I was amazed at the number of collections she had. And slowly I got interested, and so I somehow started supporting art in this way. I have quite a few collections in my home. Yeah. Now I think I have more things on the wall than on anywhere else. My rest of the house is very Spartan.
But that's very important. I mean, what at the end of the day, there's okay. We can keep on creating. We can create and create and create. But then, if there's no appreciator, the purpose is not fulfilled. So
yes,
you're doing.
I think most all of us, I believe, have a certain social responsibility in supporting art. In the earlier days, it used to be the Maharajas, and they used to have patronage and things like that. Now, I think all of us, in our own humble way, must be patrons of art, where it's possible. Whether it is performing arts or visual arts, I think we should support in some way that becomes our kind of a social moral responsibility, I would say. So it's good that we, and also it's good for our soul, I say, to have a certain interest in art.
Very well said.
Yeah, so and that's how it is. And so I'm very interested in music, dance, performing arts, any form of art that's possible. And I try to buy. I mean, some things have now become quite what is within my affordable range, I would say. Those which are big ticket items, as I call them, because they've gone up in value. Now people are buying and trading in them. That's a different thing. I don't know whether everybody can support that kind of art, but there is a corporate houses that do it, and there are people who well-heeled people who can support art, which is good. That's how it should be, because I think there's art for every range, every pocket, as I say.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's,
you're right. That's art for every range and every pocket. This should be a slogan. Yeah. But I'm very happy that you touched on the personal aspect of collection, because that's what I wanted to ask you. As an art collector, do you have an unspoken personal collection criteria or focus?
There's no criteria. If I like something and I feel that I can see it for day in and day out, I buy it.
Okay.
I mean, if I see something which I feel appeals to me, always tells a story. All my paintings are something that I can look at and I feel it tells me a story. So I relate to them. I like Arpan Bhaumik's painting. Everybody walks into the house and they all go, "Oh, tram, yes, Calcutta, it used to be like that. Look, you see the water on the streets. Can you see that old ambassador car?" And so it's like, it's a talking thing and everybody's excited. People look at Shaman's painting and I tell him it's acrylic done.
Connected with this interview. It is connected with creativity. Let me just move on to it. You see, while watching a YouTube video on Kartigai Deepam celebration in Tiruvannamalai in Ramanashramam, Jnana and I, we were just like surprised and delighted to see our Soundarya sitting there, with the devotees at Ramanashramam. So please, I would like to know this aspect of your life.
Oh, this aspect is, I suppose, the aspect of life that comes when as you grow on in years, you have the feeling of wanting to connect with the maker, your own maker. Spiritual, you start taking a spiritual, go on a spiritual journey. And I'm blessed that after my retirement, I was able to do this. I have friends who live in Tiruvannamalai. I went and stayed for a day or two because this Kartigai Deepam is something that I've always wanted to see. My family used to talk about it. My grandparents would talk about it, and my mother and our parents would talk about it. And I never had a chance to go there. I grew up in the north. So as soon as this happened, this is part of, you can call my bucket list or whatever it is. I said I must see this Kartiga Deepam. So I went to Tiruvannamalai. And of course, Ramana Maharishi, is a saint. I have been reading much from his books and philosophy and his and whatever people have composed on him has always been very attractive. Ramana Maharishi and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa of Calcutta, of Bengal, have lived in the recent years and led a very similar life and very similar teachings. They are religious, but yet they are very philosophical, metaphysical. They go beyond just the normal puja and worship to something a little bit more spiritual and philosophical. So that's what engages me very much. So I've been their followers, and I went to Tiruvannamalai and had this very, very unique blessing. And if time and resources permit, everybody should make that one trip and see the Kartiga Deepa. It's a very unique experience to see suddenly against the sky, blue sky, and then as it starts to have sunset comes, and then you have this light coming out from the top of the pinnacle of the hill. It's a very thrilling, yes. It's very thrilling and it's very nice, yes. So I don't know. Sorry.
Sorry, please continue. Please continue.
No. I said I don't know post-COVID what life is going to be like, but I'm sure things will become things will get better, no doubt. We'll have to wait it out. Yes.
Yes, like what you did, we should just keep it in our bucket list.
Yeah, no, it happens. No, when you want something very, very much, it will happen. You manifest it.
Yes, I believe in that, Soundarya. It's a very important point at the end of the day. I mean, whether it's right or wrong or good or bad is another thing, right? If it's meant to happen, it has to happen.
It happens. You will be very surprised. Let me tell you a story about this tram. And I must share this with Arpan. I don't know whether I have. Many years back in the gallery of my run by my friend, I saw one painting done by Biplab Dalai. I don't know whether anybody has heard of him. I remember him signing it off as Biplab Dalai, and he had this beautiful tram emerging from somewhere, and it was also left me a lot of impression. Unfortunately, that painting was sold to somebody, and that person refused to let it go. So I said, okay, then I'll wait. I ordered and it never came. And then I was saying it was so strong. I mean, left a very strong impression. Then when I saw Arpan doing this, I said, oh my God, this had to come to my house. So that's why I happened to meet, Arpan in your gallery, and he was painting this, and then it happened. And that's left me a great impression. I said, when you want something to happen, it happens.
It happens, and in a more unexpected and in a more beautiful manner, I believe.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes.
And Soundarya, there's something that you have this. You have this very strong creative element in you. Even your features, there's some element, some aspect of a dancer that I see, and you have this beautiful photo of yourself as the WhatsApp profile picture, which resembles you. I guess it's your wedding photo.
No. It's the one, I don't know. I keep changing it. The recent one I think is taken during the last Deepavali. Is it the orange sari?
No, it's a black and white. Maybe you've changed it already.
Maybe I changed it. That was an old one. That is a wedding photo. Yes. It was a dark blue. Green was my wedding photo. Yes.
Is there any connection that you have with dance? Have you ever explored that part of?
No, I've never. I was interested in dance. You're right. Somewhere you have detected or found that aura in me. But yes, I did want to learn dance when I was young. I used to dance according to my dance teacher quite well. She said she had the rhythm, the body can sway very well. She's got the hang of it. I learned in Calcutta for a while. And then my parents, my father was a bit conservative, and he said, I don't know, see this dance going anywhere. Let her learn music and Veena. So I learned Veena ultimately because my mother was there. So we had Veena in the house, so it came free. My mother said, no need to buy any other instrument. Why don't you learn Veena and all that? So I learned, but I do have a great interest in music. So And that's how I actually, not everybody can get onto the stage, as I tell. Some people must sit in the audience also. So I'm one of those people, artists who contribute by sitting in the audience.
Yes, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, Soundarya, one, you know, even in order to appreciate well, you still, it's always better to learn the art form to some extent.
Yes,
right.
yes,
So that's
yes.
what you have done, you know, and you have made this. You have actually, within you, I see an ideal appreciator in general for the arts.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I'd like to be. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I mean it actually, you know, it's really from the heart.
And Vidya, you're also one of those people who say what you mean and you mean what you say.
Thank you.
So that's what
I have no other choice.
That's what makes a very good connection between us. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So Soundarya, we have come to the end of this beautiful session with you.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to share with us as a note? Yeah.
Yes, I would like to share. I would first of all like to thank all the artists who have taken up this career path and you know, have unleashed their energy, their artistic brilliance for the benefit of the world. You know, I really have a big namaskar to say to all the artists performing visual arts, all those who have done music, dance, every one of them. I'll say a big namaste to all of them, because you see, this is not a field which is very lucrative right from the beginning. Okay,
Yes.
It's not that you have a very salaried structure and you're working because you need you are chasing your dream, your passion, and you're going into it because you want to contribute. You have got so much of spiritual, spiritual and artistic energy that needs to come out, be explicated or brought out, and they pursue this dream. And I think that is a big contribution to humanity. I would say first I thank them. I'll say the parents have a responsibility in taking their children to whatever art form, a little bit here, a little bit, find their niche, their taste. You never know.
Yes.
I've heard some parents saying, "Ayo, what is the point in sending him away? No, is he ever going to be?" You never know. That music is always, or anything, art or whatever it is, creative work is something good that enriches the soul. It's like, you know, you're taking, yeah. So that's why it's very important. And so I think we have a responsibility towards society to make and keep the art.
Certainly. That's a very important, very imperative for us to hear this as we end this conversation. But of course, this is the end, and I wish to speak with you more on another platform, Soundarya.
Thank you.